AEW coming to the ATX next Wednesday night, May 17th. They're going to get in the mood. They will be in the Moody Center. Tickets are available at AEWTIX.com, or if you want to win a pair, go to the contest page at hornfm.com, and you can get a shot to win a pair to see AEW Dynamite and Rampage. Someone that will be heavily involved with that joins me in studio. He is a good friend of ours. He is a Hall of Famer. He is the world's strongest man, and he is the father of one of the baddest defensive linemen in Texas high school football. He's Jacob Henry's father. It is Mark Henry. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at the Mark Henry. Is that now the thing? You're being referred to as Jacob's father,
yeah,
right?
I'm Jacob's dad.
All right, before we get to the wrestling, I do have to ask you. So Jacob announced, 6-8 weeks ago, senior year is going to be at Vandegrift now. So he's leaving Lake Travis, leaving the Cavaliers, going to go to the Vandegrift Vipers. Was it just a matter you moved to Leander, or what was the precipice behind switching to Vandegrift?
I think it was best for our family. We looked for property out there for going on 2 years, and I was out there legally. I got a place, so we can commute back and forth to Lake Travis High School solely just to do that.
Right.
And when opportunity came for another place, I started looking at that place, and rather there was no time like the present, just go ahead and move out of there. Not to mention there were some things that were not to my liking, I try my best to be responsible for everybody, and I wish everybody else would do the same.
Yeah.
And that's not the way it was.
I understand. Well, Vandegrift is getting one hell of a defensive lineman, and of course they are a program on the rise. They made it to the state title game last year before they ran into DeSoto, but they've got it all going on, and so looking forward to big things with Jacob at Vandegrift. Of course, still hear him on the Horn airwaves because we have Vandegrift on 101.9 and AM 1260, so Merle Bertrand and the crew will call his action there, so that'll be good. So let's get to AEW. Let's talk a little bit about AEW first. The main event for Double or Nothing is set. The Four Pillars match. You got MJF, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Give me your thoughts on this Four Pillars, them being called the Four Pillars. They're all young talents. I've known Sammy for, 7-8 years now. I've called several of his matches when he wrestled here in Austin. I've called several of MJF's matches as well. But talk for a second about, what this means to have not only MJF as the world champion, but the other three in that main event slot at arguably one of AEW's biggest events.
I think it's great. I think that, you have young people that have developed in that company. They're the pillars of AEW established talent because the Bucks, Cody, Jericho, those were the foundation of those pillars.
Right.
And, you always have to start at the foundation. And the people that have been able to come in, the Moxleys and Bryan Danielsons and Keith Lees and so on and so on, those people have built on that foundation because a foundation and pillars without the walls and without the rooms and the accompaniments, it's just a place, just a piece of land.
Right.
So, like, the whole AEW building from the foundation up has become like a global phenomenon.
Okay.
And you can see that just now in, 70,000 tickets being sold for Wembley. You don't sell 70,000 tickets and you not have something really special. So I'm very proud of the pillars, the foundation, and the whole building, which is AEW.
Yeah, and you just mentioned it. All in August in Wembley Stadium in London. First time wrestling's been in the Wembley Stadium since '92, since SummerSlam, and AEW a week into sales. And they got 70,000 tickets. We have no idea what the card looks like. Not even a clue. You still got at least 2 pay-per-views before then.
Right.
But you got 70,000 seats sold in a place as historic as Wembley. That's got to be Tony Khan's got to be just walking around all the time with that chest out so big on this one. And he should. You're absolutely right.
He should be very proud of himself. And the company that he's built. Yeah,
I've talked to Tony so many times, and this is not just some side project or something like that. This is a passion for him. Isn't it?
This is life. I mean, it's really what he loves. Mm-hmm. Running the Jaguars and owning the Jaguars and the soccer teams in England, all of that stuff is it's like saying, who is your favorite kid? Mm-hmm. Those are his children, and he loves them all.
Yeah, it's just such a huge source of pride. Another rivalry that has been building. You got the Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite. We're going to see it, and by the time this airs on the Horn, we will have seen it, Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley in a steel cage. But I think we all can figure out that's not going to be the end of this rivalry.
I hope not.
You've got.
It's so good. I just wanted to keep going on.
You really do, and you got 8 of the best wrestlers on this planet between Kenny Omega, Matt and Nick Jackson, Konosuke Takeshita, who has come along so far just in a short time in AEW. And then on the other side,
it won't be long before he's a main event player.
No, it won't be at all. And then on the other side, you got Claudio Castagnoli, who's the current Ring of Honor World Champion. You got Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta, another young but coming up so fast to become a major star. This is going to be a combustible scenario that maybe we'll see it at Double or Nothing. Maybe we'll see it going past Double or Nothing.
We may see it right here in Austin.
We might see it here in Austin. You're right.
I don't know what you're talking about, Stu.
May not make it to Vegas.
They may not make it to Vegas. These dudes don't like each other.
No, they don't. But just talk for a second about how much talent you have. You could have in the ring with those two factions together.
And you know what, I mentioned they didn't like each other, but they don't like each other for what I feel like is the right reasons.
Yeah.
Is a lot of it is the competition, which I thrived on competition. I love competition. But the other thing is they really feel like the other one they're entertained. This whole entertainment and wrestler thing is real. Yeah. There's a bunch of guys that they feel like you're not tough. You can talk on the microphone, you can dance, you can flip, but can you take being choked? Yeah, and I think that's a beautiful thing to be able to say, I want to see if you got what it takes, and all of them have proved that they do. It's just they're going to have to prove it again right here in Austin.
Yeah, and it almost feels like they're kind of two sides of the same coin. Both of them incredibly talented. Just, again, some of the best wrestlers on the planet, but it's just they're different philosophies and different aspects of pro wrestling.
Yeah, you can't have it both ways. Yeah. The only people that can have it both ways is the fans.
That's right. That's right.
The guys in the ring, they're I don't see nothing wrong with being one-dimensional if it works.
Right. On the women's side, the Outcasts have been terrorizing the women's division. We're starting to see, Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, who's the current AEW Women's World Champion. They're starting to stand up to them. We saw Hikaru Shida align herself with Baker and Hayter.
She's so nice. How could you hate her?
Yeah, I know, and she is nice. But where do you see this going as far as the Outcast, Saraya and Toni Storm, and Ruby Soho against, it seems to be against the rest of the women's division?
You know what, man? I feel like Jamie Hayter is the cream of the crop. Yeah. And I can't wait to see her completely get her shine. And the other women standing up with her to allow AEW women's division to have, somebody to fight against the tyranny, which is what I feel like the other women have formed a group of people that just want to dominate the women's division and make them subservient. Mm-hmm. Not a fan of that. So I guess I'm on the side of Jamie Hayter and the rest of the women at AEW, but nonetheless, they're going to make them earn it.
One of the women that has come, we mentioned, like Wheeler Yuta come along fast and Takeshi come along fast. One of the women that her star seems to be rising, Willow Nightingale.
Wow.
Who is, a powerhouse in the ring, but she just seems so, she comes on the screen warm, and you can't help but smile.
Yeah, you start smiling right away. It's like it's seeing puppies play.
Yeah.
She's just so fun-loving, man, and just a good human being and wants to be great and is doing everything in her power to be great. She'll walk up and just ask you questions. Just, I was thinking about doing this, and, I don't know. Historically, do you know if there's this worked or what? She's that kid. And and I say kid with all the due respect in the world, compared to me, they're all very young people.
Now I know how you feel.
They call me sir.
I know how you feel. Believe me.
Okay, stop calling me sir. You can call me Mark. But they're young, and I appreciate the fact that they come and pick my brain.
Yeah, that's something else. And I've talked to so many others. I've talked to Dustin Rhodes. I've talked to some of the wrestlers. The mass of just wisdom backstage between you and Dustin and Arn Anderson and
Dean
Malenko, Jerry Lynn. You talk about just the accumulated knowledge of wrestling that these AEW stars have access to. It's really something to behold, and in everything I've heard and I've seen it and everything, everybody's so approachable. Like you mentioned, like Willow Nightingale 100%. Coming to you wanting advice, and I hear it from Dustin all the time, and it's one of those things where you guys want to give of your knowledge and your wisdom, your years in the ring, to help them raise their stars.
If you are arrogant and you're selfish and you're not willing to share what God gave you, the knowledge, the resources, then that's on you. Mm-hmm. Don't bring it to AEW. Yeah. We don't want it. And you look at people like Jay Lethal and Billy Gunn, who's still in the ring, like those guys are still producing at a high level, and all they want to do is make the younger people better. Yeah. And I just can't help but respect the hell out of that.
And one of those veterans, Jeff Jarrett, who's recently joined.
Another one.
Boy, he has made waves, especially working with the live events and such, but also seeing him in the ring. My God, it's like
never missed a step.
No. Did you and Jarrett ever meet in the ring?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. I think maybe y'all. It was kind of one of those cross paths, but but yeah, he has stayed so well in shape. Not to mention just a fantastic individual. I've talked to him before, and what a great guy. Let me ask you. I'll hit a couple things. First of all, as we mentioned, AEW Dynamite Rampage next Wednesday night. at the Moody Center. Bell time 6 p.m. Central. For those that have never been to a wrestling event live, whatever the brand, tell folks what they can expect when they come to AEW live at the Moody Center.
It's going to be a party.
Yeah?
Like, bring your party shoes. Do not dress up. You're going to sweat through your clothes. You're going to be up and down so much. Like, and I can't explain it sometimes. There's been an hour straight where I've seen people stand up and not sit down.
Yeah.
Like a complete hour, jumping up and down, having a ball. And we don't micromanage the crowd. Yeah. They get the disclaimer not to do what if this is wrong and all of that. But the security is like, as long as you don't throw something, touch somebody, have a ball. Yeah. Enjoy yourself. You spent your money. Yeah. Like, we want you to have a good time. That's what you can expect.
You know, and Austin is an intelligent wrestling crowd. It's so they you know, when AEW has come before, they play the HB Center at Cedar Park. They know what they're seeing, and they appreciate it so much. You know, not to mention you get such great reactions for guys like Ricky Starks and Keith Lee, who spent a lot of time wrestling. I mean, for Inspire. I mean, I called so many of their matches back in the day, and to see them, performing on that big stage, it just does my heart good. I love those guys to death. I wanted to touch on an event you've got coming up on May 19th. Tell everybody about that event and how they can help out.
Well, man, I am a big fan of helping out and giving where you've been given and you've been supported. Mm-hmm. And I've been blessed to be on the board of the U.S. Weightlifting Foundation. And being on the board of the U.S. Weightlifting Foundation, I have been able to help support U.S. weightlifting. And Stu, I remember being at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. I was the number one lifter in the country, and I had $500 to my name. Mm-hmm. And I was working 8 hours. I was going to school for 6 hours, and then I was trying to train 3 to 5 hours a day. It just seemed like I never could rest. I never could recover. And because my city, Silsbee, they raised $25,000 and told me not to work. Get ready for the games. And, of course, the Dream Team came in, and then we were allowed to have sponsors and endorsement deals. Mm-hmm. And that saved me because I was about to stop competing, and I was going to go back and try to play football again. I just wanted to make a living, but I want to do what was done for me. So on May 19th at the Van Zandt Hotel at 6:30, we will have a gala. It is Austin chic. If you don't want to wear a tie, don't wear a tie. If you don't want to wear a jacket, don't wear a jacket. We want you to look good and have a good time more than anything. And, Stu, there's so many. We have an auction and a silent auction, a live auction and a live auction and a silent auction. There's going to be Laker tickets, luxury boxes at the Crypto. There's going to be all kind of Austin staples. CK Chin at Swift's Attic. I mean, the dude is a phenomenal chef, but his companies, Wu Chow and his sushi place, the sushi place is booked out for the year.
Of course it is.
And people have paid $2,500 to move up in line.
Wow.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's when you really killing it at a level. I love Wu Chow, but Swift's Attic, man, I love that music and the tapas, and That's kind of my favorite thing. But CK is a good dude, man. But that's just one of the things that is going to be offered. They're going to give packages, vacations, and you name it, experiences. Me and Chef Jay Ducote, who beat Bobby Flay. He's won a James Beard Award. We are going to get together and do a gumbo and etouffee Cajun meal for whoever buys that package. And I mean, it's tons of stuff like that, and so many athletes that are going to be offering experiences, dinners, workouts. So come buy those packages. It's going to be fun, and all the money is going to go to a good cause.
Yeah, absolutely. The Big Lift. It is Friday, May 19th, 6 p.m. Central. Hotel Fans Ant here in Austin. Check it out. You can learn more by going to usaweightliftingfoundation.org.
Or you can go to my website. You can go to themarkhenry.com.
Okay.
All that information will be on there.
All right.
I mean, but definitely go to the website like that. Whatever you do. I mean, we're not asking for $1 million.
Absolutely.
If you got $1 million to give, knock yourself out. Thank you.
You take it.
Thank you. Thank you. You'll help the Olympic movement for the next 10, 15 years.
Absolutely.
And I just want to thank everybody for being so supportive because we've already been blessed.
Yeah.
We raised a lot of money so far, substantial amount more than we did last year in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And I appreciate everybody's efforts, and hopefully I'll get to meet you. I mean, Earl Campbell's going to be there. Baker Mayfield, T.J. Ford.
I covered Baker a time or two.
Oh, yeah. Olympic gold medalist Charles Austin.
Okay.
Olympic gold medalist Rulon Gardner.
Nice.
From Brian Arakpo to, oh my gosh, you got the Griffins, Jamal Charles, but I keep going back to Earl Campbell, man.
Tell you what,
like my favorite football player of all time.
Yeah, I tell you, I was so blessed when I was in Phoenix for Radio Row for Super Bowl 57, and I had a chance to have both Earl Campbell and Tony Dorsett sit down with me to be on the air. I mean, you talk about the royalty of football in the state of Texas, and you got two of them right there. They were doing the thing about the 10 men who were both Heisman Trophy winners and in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and they're two of them. So
man, I mean, even like my guy is Nate Boyer.
Yeah, I love Nate.
Nate is going to be there.
Fellow veteran, love Nate to death.
And there's going to be so many more celebrities. You can go to the website and see the full list of people that's going to be there, themarkhenry.com.
Okay.
Man, subscribe. It's going to be a fun time. There's going to be updates every week. And the word of the day, you can't always say the word of the day on radio or TV.
We'll take your word for it.
But the world is going to love it.
All right.
We're going to tell people where the meanings of some words came from.
All right.
It's going to be fun.
There we go. He is Mark Henry. AEW Dynamite Rampage next Wednesday night at the Moody Center, 6 p.m. bell time. Tickets available at AEWTIX.com. Again, go to the contest page at hornfm.com for a chance to win tickets to see AEW come to the ATX. Mark, I appreciate it, man, as always. All the best to you. Man. All the best for the event. I know that will be a huge event. All the best to Jacob. I'm going to miss covering him. I love him to death, though. He has my full support no matter where he goes and as far as he goes. So please give him my best.
I will.
Hey, thanks for stopping by, man. I know it's been a long day, but I appreciate it.
It's going to be worth it. Every day that you put in hard work is going to be worth it. It's going to pay off.
Absolutely.
Go Vipers.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mark.